to another episode of Transform Perspective with Kyra. To be exact, this is the last episode of season 1 of Transform Perspective. And season 2 will be coming very soon, and it will be themed. I think going forward, having some type of theme to each season is going to be pretty cool. This season was really just to go with the flow, trying something new. Even though Transform Perspective is not new, because I have had this channel on YouTube for about 2 years now, so it isn't new. Even though it isn't, this way of doing the podcast is. Before, if you're subscribed to my channel and have watched my content, you can see how I've tried many different things, figuring out what works for me, what flows, what's authentic, and being able to sit down and do a regular schmegular, traditional type of podcast where you are speaking into a microphone, you're sitting, that was new for Transform Perspective in 2023 and, this past year. So we are wrapping up this season with this episode. If you've come thus far and if you watched any of my episodes or any of my content, thank you so much. I'm really glad to have you here for this episode. If you have not subscribed already to YouTube or follow on Spotify or TikTok, please do so. Join the family, join the community of Transform Perspective, which is all about growth, which is all about life and just experiencing being human and being able to not only see my journey and my perspective and what I share, but being able to share as well, as a community, sharing our perspectives, how we're growing, how we're learning, and really returning to who we are and our true selves. What is your highest potential? How do you want to experience life? How have you grown? What is your outlook on life, your awareness, your perspective? Because that is your reality, and we create our reality essentially. So yeah, that is what this channel is all about. Really just life and being human. And your awareness and perspective is, everything. So Transform Perspective. Growing as we learn and as we become more aware and sharing that and connecting, locked in. So yeah, with all of this being said, I know it's a lot coming to this last episode. I thought that it would be great to really dive into gratitude, especially with this being the last episode of season 1, because there's so many things that I'm grateful for, and I feel like there's so many things to be grateful for. And I come across a video of someone sharing what they were grateful about, and of course it can kind of come off as a little corny or a little cheesy sometimes, depending on where you are in your life. I felt that way about certain things. You're like, but there's so much chaos in the world, but there's so much wrong, there's so much evil, there's so much dark, oh my goodness, I still got to pay bills, oh, I'm slaving away at work at a 9 to 5, or is this life? There's so much negativity and things that you can kind of be sitting in or have a response to that gratitude that you're seeing. But when I saw the video that I'm talking about today, it really just warmed my heart. And I wasn't always in that space, and you probably weren't either. We have our moments where we're in a place in our life or a space within ourselves where it is hard to see what you're grateful for. It is hard to just, appreciate where you are and who you are and how far you've come, because sometimes we can keep our hearts closed off to gratitude, to love, to life. It could be so easy to just shut down and close up due to our circumstances, due to what we've been through, due to our perspective and how we see the world or how other people see us. And it can be painful, it could be depressing, it can be a lot, cause a lot of anxiety and stress. I get it, been there and done that. And so to be able to come across a video or a message like that about gratitude and it warmed my heart was huge for me, because I didn't always have that outlook or that perspective and that awareness of gratitude. It's, for me in the past, and maybe for you, it was always something to complain about, always something to be negative about, always something to try to fix and change. But when you get to a place and when you're in a space where you can really just be content with where you are and find gratitude with where you are, that's huge. Because to me, I feel like that's really the key to happiness, is really just being content and appreciative for where you are in this moment. You know, you can also reflect on how far you've come and where you're going. But when you're really just like, man, I'm like here right now in this moment, and this warms my heart because I'm grateful. I'm here. I'm alive. There's like so much love in this moment. You know, there's so much to be grateful for. That is huge because that perspective, that way of looking at life, looking at, yourself, looking at this moment, it changes your whole world. It determines whether you are living in hell or whether you're living in heaven based off of how you view your current situation where you are right now in every moment. Because all we have is this moment. So whatever your outlook is, whatever your attitude is towards this moment determines, whether you're up or down or wherever you're at, whether you're here or not, you know? And so really just taking the time to have gratitude and reflect on that it's been huge for me. I'm so grateful for just my consistency of continuously coming on here and showing up no matter how many people are watching, whether someone's watching or not, whether it's just me talking to a camera. It's just so much growth and things that I've learned along the way that has helped me become the person that I am today, and continuing to grow, to heal, to transform, and just to really be in that space of love, of gratitude, of healing, of balance. That doesn't mean that you ignore the struggles. That doesn't mean that you ignore, the matrix we live in and the negative things yeah, it can be hell. It can be a prison. It really can. But I feel like, that is valid while at the same time being able to recognize the positives, the love, the things you are grateful for. I feel like both is necessary. You are going to have dark and you are going to have light, but being able to be grounded in the midst of that and find that balance is key. And I am still learning that. And as I continue to still learn that and grow in that, I'm going to share, whatever I feel called to share in whatever ways. And so that is what I feel like Transform Perspective is for me, is that healthy outlet for me to express what I'm learning, express how I'm healing and growing, and just viewing life in my perspective, and having an open heart, open mind to life, learning to do that. Not saying that I already have it all together. No, it's like learning to start fresh and truly live and truly see life in a new way, because you've already seen life from this negative place. If you've been there, if you've been in that hell, in that torment, whether it's constantly being anxious or depressed or down, or like you just been through some really tough stuff in life, like it has felt like life has chewed you up and spit you out and done it again and again and again, and then ran you over on top of that and had you in a chokehold. Like, if you've been there and done that, it sucks. And so I've learned that a lot of that has to do with your own will, your own choice, and your perspective and how you view it. And it doesn't necessarily mean like you have to fake it until you make it or gaslight yourself into believing that you're worthy of love or that life is good and things are all great. No, it truly can be. And so through this experience of sharing, of starting my own YouTube channel, of just life and learning, that's something that I've learned, that like life is what you make it. Like, it really is. And of course it definitely feels out of our control, and it is in a lot of ways. But our perspective, our awareness is one thing that can really help us change our reality, change who we are within ourselves, in a natural way, in a flowing way, and in an unconditional loving way. It doesn't have to be a forceful, I gotta fix myself, I gotta fix the world and change the world, because none of that is possible if you don't start within. It's not about fixing your external world and external people and or even yourself. It's more of gratitude, appreciation, contentment, acceptance of who you are, where you are, and how far you come and where you're going. It's really just gratitude and appreciation and acceptance. I mean, that's really all you can do, especially when it's out of your control. What is in your control is how you respond to it. What is your perspective of it? How are you, what are you going to do with where you are? because you can try to change it. I'm not saying you can't make change. I'm just saying that change starts with you. It starts within yourself, and then your external world will reflect that. And that's something that I can just say so easily, but I am still learning day by day, moment by moment. And so gratitude is huge, and you cannot go wrong with gratitude. I feel like that is definitely the key to happiness, is being able to be grateful. I feel like gratitude opens your heart to life, to others, to yourself, to everything. It can be so easy to, like I said, shut down and just close off. But to even start small with the little things and be like, man, I'm grateful to wake up. You know what I'm saying? I got all my limbs. Even if you don't, there's something to be grateful for. But, like speaking for myself, I have all my limbs. I'm healthy. I'm able to go work out. I'm able to drive. I have a vehicle. I'm able to drink clean water and, eat food and have clothes. And, these are basic things that I feel like we take for granted. The sun is shining. I get to let the sun shine on me, and I have people who love me and care for me. I'm able to take a nice shower. I'm able to laugh. I'm able to see. I feel like we take so much for granted, and that happens. It's a part of it. But there is so much to be grateful for. And so that can really warm your heart and get you in that space and that mindset and perception of joy, of happiness, and of peace and of love, because it is available. And it may seem impossible. Trust me, I get it. It may seem impossible to be in that space. And sometimes it is really really tough to get out of that pit, out of that hole, feeling like, okay, like, yeah, I have so much to be grateful for, but this, that, and the third. Yeah, both are valid. Both are valid, but how do you want to live? Do you want to live life? Do you want to truly live, or do you want to keep staying in that place? It's okay to dwell in that place, but how long are you going to dwell in that place? I feel like at some point you do want to find a balance. I'm not saying ignore either or, but find a balance. Both are valid. And gratitude, I feel like, is a start to live, to truly forgive, to truly love. Gratitude is key. And I feel like that's what helped me kind of get to where I am today. Being in that dark space, being in that place where you just don't feel grateful. You just don't feel anything. You just don't care, Being in that space, you can really get stuck there, and it is hard. But I feel like gratitude is the start to just start to rise up out of that. Be grateful for that place that you were in, but then also welcome in the newness, welcome in the gratitude, welcome in a new perception and way of seeing life and seeing yourself, seeing it all. I feel like you can get stuck in either or and be closed off to either or. You may be in a space where you only see the negative, where you only see the bad, where you only see what's wrong. You could be in a place where you only see what's right and you're ignoring the darkness. You're all light, bubbly, happy, and positive, but you're ignoring what's hiding under the carpet, what's under the rug. You do gotta lift that up, clean that out, to be really authentic and true to yourself. You can't have one without the other. And I think gratitude is a great middle point. You know what I'm saying? You are being able to reflect on those negatives, on those dark things, as well as the light, as well as the positive. You're able to see it for what it is and say, man, this is what it is. This is what it is. And here I am, as a result of the ups, of the downs, of the light, of the dark. I'm here. And it's huge. And so, yeah, that's just something that I really just wanted to touch base on. It's gratitude, because I feel like it's so much to be grateful for. And of course, you can feel like you're forcing it if you're not in that space, which I've been there and I get it. It can feel like you're really forcing it, forcing a smile, forcing yourself to be, oh yeah, I'm grateful. It may not be that you're not grateful. You just may not be feeling it. You may not be feeling it in your heart, and you may be very closed off, and that's okay. But it is possible to get in that place to where you really feel like, man, I'm grateful to be here. I'm happy to be alive. Like, Even if you're not happy to be alive, you're just like, I'm breathing, and it's cool. And I feel like one thing that'll really help you have gratitude is when you don't have it, when it's not there. You're grateful to have hot water because when you didn't have hot water, you knew the struggle. You know what I'm saying? That's just an example. You're grateful to have loving and caring people in your life because at one point, maybe you didn't have loving and caring people in your life. Maybe you didn't have nobody in your life. And so I feel like life can kind of show you in these very complex ways that we don't always like. Egoically, it's like, man, this sucks. But you don't know what you have until it's gone. I think that's really what I'm trying to say. And I think that's how life really teaches you gratitude, is because you lose things. Things get taken away, things change. And with that, you change, your perspective changes. For some people, it opens their heart, it opens their mind, and like, man, I'm grateful because this was tough and I know what it's like to not have it. So, man, I'm so grateful to have it, and I'm not going to take it for granted. For others, that may not be the case. It may be a different outlook, and that's okay, because I feel like when it comes to perception, it is what it is. There's no right or wrong way to view the world, but I will say this, it does determine your state of mind. It does determine your peace. It does determine, whether you in heaven or whether you're in hell. It determines everything, in my opinion. It determines your reality. It's your perception. It is everything. So, and that changes. Like I said, you have your ups, you have your downs, you have your moments where you're like, forget all this, I don't care, it's too much, or you're very numb to it. And then you have your moments where you're really taking it in and you really get it. And so I feel like along the way of my own journey, even with, coming on here and share, I've been up and down with that. But currently, I feel like I'm in a place where I can really just open my heart and accept just the gratitude of even the small things. Because I feel like deep down for everybody, you want to feel safe, you want to feel free, you want to feel protected, you really want to feel that love. It just can be scary. The mind, the ego, the things you've been through, the things that's happened can make it very scary for you to be open to that, And so you may just focus on the negative. It may feel very impossible for you to be grateful, for you to feel love, for things to be okay. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it is. It's just your perception of it. Everything is based off your perception. Like I said in the past, I think I've used this example. You could be having a whole panic attack and be chilling in your room and be fine. It was your perception. It was where your mind went. Where was your mind at when that happened? We can convince ourselves that we're in danger, that we have to be in fight or flight, that we have to stay closed off for so many lists of reasons. And I've talked about a lot of these things. But in reality, we're safe, And if you're not safe, then that's when you really kick in and get that fight or flight going, or that's when, that adrenaline gets going and you know what to do in those moments. But I think that kind of comes down to the nervous system too, and just learning these things about yourself so you can get back in this place where you're really just balanced and content. It doesn't have to be a left or right. It doesn't have to be a dark or light. It doesn't have to be a happy or sad. You're just here. You're here and you're content with being here. And I feel like that's where you find that peace. That's where you find that happiness, and gratitude is a great start. It really is a great start. Even if you feel like you're faking it'll become real. Like I said, when you don't have it, it'll become real. And it's not even to punish yourself or say like, oh, like, you just ain't seen it. No, you've seen it before. You just got to really reflect on that and remember it. And then that gratitude will come. You have to start here in the present, look around and really take in where you are, how far you've come, and, where you want to go. So yeah, presence and gratitude is the key. I think that's about it. I feel like I can go on and on about this topic. I'm still learning. I feel very grateful and warm-hearted, and I feel that right now, and that can change, and that's okay, because that's part of the journey. We have our ups and downs, but what will get you started and kind of rise you up and get you in this place of contentment, really, of acceptance, is gratitude. That's the advice I got to share. That's like the biggest lesson I've learned thus far for this season 1, and just really in life thus far, is gratitude is key, and it really helps with your perception. you know what I'm saying, and the way that you view things if you're looking at, man, you know, the glass is half full rather than half empty, you know, or you could just look at the glass has water in it, you know, you can find that balance and say the glass has water. Boom. That's all I have for this last episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to Transform Perspective and just coming along with me on this journey we call life, which is really just this present moment. We're not really going anywhere but here. But thank you for being here with me in this moment, which may be a different moment from when you're watching this, but you're here in this moment with me, which is pretty cool. It defies time. But anyways, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to YouTube. Follow on Spotify, share in the comments. And yeah, let me know what you think about this topic, about gratitude, what you've learned, you know, on your own journey. Feel free to share it in the comments. Don't forget to like this video. Hit that like button. And yeah, the goal is to have 1,000 subscribers. So like I said, don't forget to subscribe and check out that free 15-minute guided meditation in the description below. It is for deep relaxation. So check it out. It is free and it is made just for you. Like I say, yeah, I hope you learn to open your heart and find gratitude and truly be grateful, like not faking it. You know, I know they say fake it till you make it, but at some point you gotta be real. You gotta be real with it. So I hope you get to that place if you're not already. And yeah, remember, it is not about perfection, but committing to expansion. Have a transformed perspective.